day. Whoa, it's hot out here, man. It is hot today.
You know it's hot out.
Yeah, I just said that. I said it's hot out here, man.
Yeah, you know it's hot, too.
Yeah, that's why I said it, man. It is hot out here.
Welcome to all of my fellow race fans and backseat drivers. Thank you for joining us here for another GTE GT4 race with Apex. We are at our penultimate GTE GT4 race of the season here at Oultan Park. Currently a little bit late on the dial at the moment. We are already into our qualifying session. Actually, we're watching Kent Kruger. Welcome back, Kent. Oh, Eric Foss out there having an incident on his outlap for his qualifying there. Let's bring up some of those qualifying times, although none have been set. Back with Eric Fox, trackside. Jacob Hiller in the GT4 class, it looks like here. So we might have to do a small update to our classes in a minute. It's good to have some more runners out there. Also some new guys out on track. Welcome, Cliff. Welcome back to the new members, Andy and Paul. Riding in the Ford GT this evening. It is a rarity around here. Jordan Musser also joining us for the GTE race this evening. Hopefully our mic situations have been a little resolved from last stream. It was a little choppy last time, so hopefully it's doing a little bit better. 3 minutes on the clock, nobody across the line. Vincent Wood is first. He does a 1:31.670. It's the time to beat, which Brian DeVries does with a 1:29.5. Corey Mitchell top of the stack with a 1:29.360. Tyler Pierre Richards into the top three. Roman Bykov here in the Coors machine in the GT4 class. Richard Sandels riding O Canada, heading right for the finish line. Cliff Naranjo finishes third fastest, relegating Tyler down a spot. Jacob Hiller is actually in the GT4s there. We'll have to change him now. Matthew Smotherman is in the GT4s. We do know that, as he is your points leader for that class. when things are all messed up here, probably because I cannot find the correct race file right now. Excuse me about this. And that looks a little bit better there. Jacob Hiller back in the GT4s now that we are in the correct file. Eric Foss, top of the stack there. Around the second chicane now. Kevin Sandiego slots into 8th. Eric into the 128th there. Just about 7/10 faster than Corey. Andy able to get onto the second row there. A great lap, 129.517. Eric Foss has an off track. This next lap is not going to count for him. Clifton Naranjo back here in 6th at the moment. Michael Johnson pushing himself up to 9th. Getting in the top 10. Troy Banks down there at the back of the stack. Matthew Smotherman still on pole position. And customarily followed by Jacob Eiting here. Brian DeVries right up to the front row with that last one. Lincoln Russell can't go any faster out there. And that relegates Corey Mitchell, who is actually in the pit lane. And he's got a special new paint, I believe, in that RSR for us this evening. Andy pushed down to 4th. Jordan edging himself closer to the top 10, but can't quite get there. They're all packed in tight with in the 130s. It's going to be some real tight racing there. Kent Kruger just ahead of him manages to get into the top 10. Tyler Pierre Richards, Brian DeVries, and Corey Mitchell all in the pits at the moment. Andy Cantu on track. I don't believe Corey Mitchell will have enough time to complete both laps. Joaquin, new member here, welcome. Still waiting to give us a time. Same with Gary Beal, still owes us a clean lap out there. And Corey Mitchell seemed to have an off track there, testing out that full tank or something like that. Eric Foss back out on the black stuff. Lincoln Russell can't go any faster at all. Returns to the pit lane. Bjorn Benches is good enough for 14th out there. He's got some new paint for us this evening. It's really cool. It's a mixture of his regular paint and the stock BMW. Here's Kevin Sandiego. We haven't had the sector times out there. It doesn't look like he's going to go any faster this go round. And it's not even a clean lap for him. Michael Johnson has a minute 10 to come across the line. Andy really feeling the car in that last sector. He's got a purple sector out there, so but here's Eric Foss possibly putting in yet a faster time for us than a 128.6. And nearly able to do that for us. It would still be a pole-worthy lap. Oh, whoops, Andrew Durkis. Woo! Having some fun out there. And Gary Beal still struggling to get the grip of this track. Oh, unfortunate. Right at the end, that final turn is a doozy. Less than 10 seconds to go in the qualifying session. Let's take a quick peek over at our race info with with that 50% fuel limit mandating a pit stop for these guys. Currently, track temperature went from 77 in qualifying to 90 degrees out there, so heating up a little bit out here at Oultan. Brian DeVries getting himself onto the front row with that lap. Let's see, it's Eric Foss on pole position, followed by Brian DeVries, Corey Mitchell, Andy Cantu, Joaquin Juanhua, sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're doing a great lap out there to get yourself onto row 3, lining up next to Lincoln Russell. Then we have Clifton Naranjo, followed by Tyler Pierre Richards, Kevin San Diego, Michael Johnson rounds out the top 10 drivers, followed by Kent Kruger, gets bumped down one, followed by Jordan Musser, Richard Swindells, Robbie Campbell, Bjorn Benches, Vincent Wood, Paul Metzger, Stephen Liston, Troy Banks, and Bryson Lee. Rounding out the top 20, followed by Gary Beal, Jordan Lacey, and Ali Salih. Hopefully they all join us. I believe Ali is actually your points leader out there. Mason Smotherman is on pole position. Surprise, surprise for the GT4s. And surprise, surprise, he's followed by Jacob Eiding on the front row, followed by Jacob Hiller, Andrew Rasmussen, Roman Bykoff, Andrew Durkis, Russell Elizondo, and hopefully Brian Zen, Bryce Carter, and Jimmy Golahar. Speaking of those championships, oh, maybe it's the GT3s that Ali is rocking at the moment. But it is Corey Mitchell who starts in 3rd position here, who is top of the stack out there. Then there's a nice close battle going for 3rd place. Craig Ream not in the lobby at the moment. Kent Kruger could take that away this evening now that he is back, sitting down in 11th place. Lots of points to be had out there. And we're ready to roll out there. Let's go through the GT4s real quick before we get rocking here. Smotherman running away with it. Jacob Eiding hugging closely, but it looks like at this rate Matthew is going to win that comfortably with only a 3-point difference between 1st and 2nd in the race. And around that final turn we come. Pace car heads off to the right, and we are ready to go racing out there. The GTEs hit it. It's Eric with a good launch. Corey staying in 3rd place for the moment, almost getting up to 2nd on the inside of Brian, who is forced onto the grass. Just not enough grip out there already. Andy Cantu also slips by. And it looks like Tyler Pierre Richards trying to get to the inside of Clifton Naranjo there. It's Lincoln Russell just ahead of them. Everybody makes it through pretty nicely, though. There's not a whole lot of fuss from a lot of people. Oh, going side by side here. Back for the GT4 class. Oh, heavens, and that's your points leader, Corey Mitchell, having an off track. And for the GT4s, looks like everyone more or less made it through there. It's hard to see what had happened. Looked like Andy Cantu went side by side with him around the kink there and really shunted him into the wall. We were curious if that was going to happen. It's, oh geez, and it's actually Andy up to 2nd place there after that move, and Brian DeVries very, very aggressive on lap 1. Guys aren't getting through, and we might lose that nice battle we were expecting up towards the top of the stack. Now that some gaps have started to form, even on lap 1 here. Corey Mitchell sitting in the pits. That's gotta hurt. But it might be his worst result, but that's okay because you're bottom three are taking off, and he's sitting pretty at the top of the standings still. Ooh, Bjorn Benches with an issue as well. Maybe he started from the pits or something. Looked like Paul Metzger had a little off track in the middle of the first lap there. Roman Bykov with a crash coming into lap 2. Matthew Smotherman coming around the hairpin. He's got a nice 1.8 second gap on Jacob Eiting. Jacob Hiller in this class. Within a second of him, Bjorn Benches in the GTE trying to get by these guys. Andrew Rasmussen sitting in 4th. Behind them, Paul Metzger is the next car down the track. And he's followed by Brian Zinn, having a big lockup into the first chicane. Brian DeVries from 2nd place, currently sitting in 4th here. And Eric Foss has a nice 1.1 second lead. Andy Cantu sitting in 2nd after that coming together. Joaquin promoted up to 3rd place from 5th. Brian DeVries, oh, that's Corey Mitchell coming out of the pits as we speak. And not a pretty place for him to be. Oh, goodness gracious. As Corey is definitely seeing those blue flags, but is probably not too happy about it. He knows he has the speed, and that looks like Joaquin, who has his own issue coming around the kink to the hairpin. Didn't quite happen for him. Brian DeVries still sitting there, and Corey's still in front of this little train. I think he's really holding these guys up too much. Kevin Sandiego has done a great job up 5 positions thus far to get up to 4th. Oh goodness, having a little wiggle on the exit there. Oh, and the Patron Racing BMW spun around as Lincoln Russell got in the vortex of shame. Although, you know, it's so funny how you can actually make moves happen in that second chicane. It does not seem like a good passing zone, but somebody messes it up. We saw with Miatas, you could really make up 1 or 2 places there even in the space of a crazy chicane. So Lincoln going for it, coming side by side and hitting the rear part of Kevin's car, which is always going to come off worse for Kevin. Paul Metzger and Gary Beal still able to have a little scrap back here for 17th place. Paul Metzger using every little bit of track he has. Trying around the outside, it's not going to work. As these two American manufacturers get tangled up together. Roman Bykov coming through, just avoids them. Eric Foss has got that 2 seconds out there. And to kind of staying with him, Brian DeVries is a whopping 5 seconds back, stuck behind Corey at the moment. Lincoln Russell has given him a little rest ahead since he came together with Kevin. Jordan Musser closing, followed by Tyler Pierre Richards, Michael Johnson, Kent Kruger, Robbie Campbell, surprise, surprise, battling with Kent Kruger. Vincent Wood behind them, rounding out the top 10. Vincent up 6 places at the moment. Gary Beal also up 6 places. Jordan Musser up 7. Oh goodness, and that's Corey Mitchell having another off track, it looked like there. Coming over to this. Oh, it's so easy to go a little hot in there. Is Bjorn battling with Troy? Oh, goodness gracious. And then on to see that. Looks like both of them actually made it out of that. All right. With Bjorn coming out ahead. Ken Kruger also having it off track at the exact same spot in the exact same way. It's so very easy to do as you come over that crest. And Troy Banks is on track. He is on track, and they're passing. Oh, goodness gracious. They are somehow. That was so sketchy. Passing Andrew Jerkis, who has not had a super fun race already lapped, and had an accident on the first lap, I think, that set him back. Vincent Wood is now closing on Robbie Campbell. After Kent Kruger let them by on the last lap. Stephen Liston is out here in 12th, and Clifton Naranjo did not have a good opening to this race. He's going to get a move done here, though, to make it only 5 positions down. Stephen lets that one happen. There's no point in fighting. Here's a little pack of Porsches. Vincent getting a little out of shape there, breaking a little late into the hairpin, able to hold on to it though. Mitchell has managed to find himself a GTE car to pass. And Jordan really pushing up to the back of Lincoln Russell. Trying to line this move up now. And maybe get him down the straights if he gets a good exit. Oh, he most certainly does not get a very good exit of T1. In fact, pushes way too hard. And it's going to drop down to 8th, possibly even 7th or 6th here, depending on how it all goes. And Andy in second place here had a little bit of a spin. He pretty much keeps it out of the wall, but he lost a good bit of time there. And that was the gap at the moment for Brian DeVries. It's under 2 seconds. Some of like that, 3 seconds. Oh goodness, Brian has an awful time there, and now he's put under pressure from Lincoln Russell. Oh, poor Clifton, his race getting a little worse here. Having an issue around the hairpin. Just getting on that throttle a little bit early like we saw with Andy. Just some great racing happening here as Jordan comes in for an early pit stop. It's only 12 minutes into the race. I think there's enough time on the board already to come in and get that fuel. Looks like Steven Liston having an issue at that same spot. Oh, and turning it sideways for good measure as well. Oh, and they're going either side of this GT4 car. Kent trying to use it as a pick as he slides by. Vincent Wood is not able to get around, still not able to get around. I believe that's it's not Jacob Hiller. It's Jacob Eiding. The Jacobs in there matching black GT4s. So Eric Foss up top, running cleanly. He's got a nice 8-second lead over Andy at the moment. He's 5 seconds above Brian, who is much more focused on Lincoln at the moment. And that's Corey Mitchell finally clearing all of the GT4 cars. At least he's still a lap down on the GTE pack, though, with the majority of them. Here's Corey, and here's Paul Metzger, who's the next car down the road. And the race starting to take shape a little bit. Guys starting to get the feel for the track. Oh, and it looks like the GT4 leader, Matthew Smotherman, having a... Oh, goodness. In a real rough time, he hits a wall. And there is Jacob Eiding. Second in class. Sees that, says thank you very much. And he's getting past. Taking the lead. For one of the first times this season. He's still right there behind him. Has a little bit of damage after clubbing that tire barrier. Matthew losing 12 seconds on that lap puts him back in second place. He's still got the championship locked up pretty much. Here's Steven Liston, the GTE car behind these guys, trying to find a clever spot through. The GTE really showing all that extra performance and braking, cornering power. Lincoln sitting in fourth, now able to fight for that podium. Brian has a small lockup into the hairpin. Oh, and that is the best way to come to blows with your rival. Send it down the inside of the hairpin. Looks like Troy Banks having more issues out here into this chicane. Goes off track there. Down into T1, taking it real tight to the inside, so easy to get an off track there. Jacob still holding on to the lead here. Jacob Eiding now dealing with Kent Kruger behind, who's going to try to pass at least Matthew on the inside. Setting his fastest lap of the race out there. Ooh, Paul Metzger having a bit of a spin here. Seems to be doing all right coming out of the second chicane, and then with the oof. Oh, and I think that's Troy Banks coming around the corner. Couldn't figure it out. He's probably going to jump to the pits from there. Not having the best race ever. Eric Foss still up top. Tyler Pierre Richards. And these guys really started to slip into some pockets here. Not a lot of close racing at the moment. It's more lapping people. As you can see on the battle box there, it's Paul Metzger to the back. And, you know, there's more names in blue and red on the battle boxes than in white, it seems. So a lot of it is just lapping cars and playing into that. So about 20 minutes, 21 minutes at the moment. Should see a few of these guys come into the pits. Vincent Wood is in. Paul Metzger taking advantage of that moment, spinning around and getting hit to take care of some damage. Troy Banks looks like getting some new boots out there. Vincent Wood stopping for 38.1. So maybe getting some new tires himself. Jacob Hiller in the background coming in for his stop. From 7th place out there, Michael comes in for his. Oh man, and if I remember right, this place has the worst pit stop. Like right when you get around the corner there, your guy could be right there, like literally right around the bend. So you've got to whip it in there. It is not favorable to the guys who are gritting towards the back. Troy Banks back out there after 58 seconds stationary. Michael taking a rather long time. Cliff is already out there. I wonder if Michael caught a speeding penalty coming in. We'll keep an eye on him. Andy Cantu still riding in second place, ahead of Brian DeVries, Lincoln Russell, and Tyler Pierre Richards. Michael Johnson stationary for 53 seconds, although 40 seconds of that might have been a speeding violation. Jacob Eiding and Matthew Smotherman still battling it out. I think Eric Foss we just saw come into the pits, followed by Andy Cantu and Brian DeVries and Lincoln Russell. Tyler Pierre Richards heading for the pits as well. Robbie Campbell heading right down the road. Andy back out on track, finding the accelerator. Brian DeVries with a slightly shorter pit stop. Lincoln Russell, similar time. That's Eric Foss already. For some weird reason, it seems to think Steven is like on the lead lap or lapping these guys. It's really weird. Maybe it's that weird pit stop right to the back there. Those guys had to tuck themselves in there. That's Bjorn back there. Steven Liston here ahead of, I believe, Paul Metzger. Campbell rounds to the final corner and is going to stop. Jacob Eiding comes into the pit stop, and that allows Matthew to regain the lead of the race. Eric Foss already all the way up there. Steven Liston approaching the top 10 here, getting to the back of Michael Johnson. Still waiting on a pit stop from Matthew Smotherman, who is in the more efficient class, so he can do another round out there. Corey Mitchell coming back into the pits for his official pit stop. Jacob Eiding sitting in second still after his pit stop. background there, you can see Matthew Smotherman finally heading for the pits. Russell Elizondo is also in. Gary Beal stops as well. Matthew Smotherman only stationary for 8.5. Jacob Biding here, now finally coming down the pit straights. I think Matthew's going to have him covered. And Brian Zinn sitting in between them there. Kent Kruger also forcing his way through. And Andy now with only a 2.8-second lead. Let's run to the final 5 minutes here. Oh, Richard Swindells with an off track. Ooh, that is not a pretty one. And then he had another one down here a lap later. Ooh, locking it up big time with those old tires. But it's okay because Clifton has an issue ahead of him. And that's going to see him breeze on through. Now I have to say that I've been looking forward to this track all season, but that's only because I confused it with Oran Park. I thought it was Oran Park. Now that is a racetrack. It's got a bridge. It's a figure 8 track. It's got a turn name like O'Reilly's aluminum dog leg. Now that is what you name a turn after. That is badass, and it's a sweet turn too. It is so very difficult, and that track really tests you like crazy. I think that should definitely be on the docket for next season. That, and I think we should bring back Spa. Everybody loves Spa. I actually had 2 consecutive thoughts this week. They were not good thoughts. It was, hey, you're 3.7B. Why don't you just... You're so close to getting bumped up to A. Why don't you just do an IMSA race at Spa? Then in practice, rear-ended twice, straight on the bumper. And I still didn't learn my lesson. I went racing there. It was miserable. I was getting bashed into constantly. I was able to get a podium in the GT3, but heavens, at what expense? I think it was up to like 24 out of 25 incidents allowed. Just trying to finish the damn race. Look on my IR. So no, it's a moral of the story is I did not get an A license this week. Eric Fausto, he's got one. Cruising up top with a whopping 13.5 second lead. I'm sure it has been so thrilling up there for him. Oh, Lincoln Russell with an off track. Starting to feel those tires there. Andy, another off track of his own. NT1. It looks like Paul Metzger there in the background. interval timings are a little screwy here. Cliff now trying to get the jump out of T1. Coming real close. He's getting right into the dirt, though, able to hold on to that thing. And he's going to have a run here on Richard. Oh, a big run on him, and he's going to get through real nicely. Connection issues there for Matthew, but he is still up top, still leading these guys. Jacob Iden can just stay within visual distance of him. Into the final 5 minutes we are. Got about probably 2 laps more of racing here. As Eric takes us out on the penultimate lap of the penultimate GTE race. And that's Clifton Naranjo wanting to get by Corey Mitchell very badly here. For a second there, I thought Richard was able to stay with Cliff. There is Eric Foss, the race leader. Oh, no, sorry about that. Looks like we will have 2 more race laps starting now, as there's still 2 minutes left on the board. Eric Foss crosses the line to take us around once more, as we are just about out of race time out there. Oh man, and Gary Beal sending it into the wall at T1. He broke something here. He should just be fine there. Ken Kruger having an off track towards the end here. Still got a nice 18-second lead on Michael Johnson though, so I don't think he is too worried. But it is Eric Foss we're watching as he never looked in doubt the entire race and brings it home. He is happy with that one. Well done, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations to our new member, Andy Cantu, out for that second place finish there from 4th on the grid. Brian DeVries is going to bring it home here for the final podium and the GTEs. Jacob Hiller crosses the line to finish 3rd for the GT4s, and it looks like another Matthew Smotherman, Jacob Eiding 1-2. Times seem to say there was nothing between the top 3, although I'm fairly certain there was a little bit more than that. If there's a grown woman howling with laughter in the background, I do apologize about that. Anyways, let's run down the race results here. Eric Foss taking that podium picture, and I guess getting out of there pretty quickly as Andy and Brian hang out for it. And there we go for our GTE results out there. It's Eric Foss from pole position winning that one, followed by Andy Cantu, Brian DeVries wrapping out the podium positions. Then we got Lincoln Russell, followed by Robbie Campbell, Tyler Pierre Richards, Clifton Naranjo, Richard Swindells, Michael Johnson, and Ken Kruger rounding out the top 10. They are followed by Stephen Liston. Then we got Vincent Wood, Bjorn Benches, Corey Mitchell climbs back up to 14th above Paul Metzger, Gary Beal, Troy Banks, and Jordan Musser. And then, yeah, a bunch of these guys, everybody else did not finish the race with us. Unfortunate for some of our new members. Let's check out the GT4s real quick. That is not what we want to see, but we all know it was Matthew Smotherman. Let's back it up a page. I love it when my software acts out. It is my favorite thing on earth. The GT4s were won by Matthew Smotherman, who took that pole position. Jacob Eiding takes another second place. Jacob Hiller up to 3rd in the GT4s, followed by Brian Zinn, Russell Elizondo, And Bryce Carter is a few laps behind, not scoring any points, followed by Andrew Durkis, Roman Bykov, Andrew Rasmussen, and Jimmy Golahar. Let's check out our current points here, as Brian Zen able to get up to 6th place. There is really one of the only changes out there. Russell Elizondo up to 9th with that finish. Matthew staying up top, Jacob taking 2nd in the championship, and Bryce is going to take 3rd for the GTE class. That's Corey Mitchell, who is still sitting up top. Russell Elizondo sitting in 2nd. Eric Foss bumped up to the 3rd place position with that final win there. Richard Swindells pushes himself up 1. And Ken Kruger, unfortunately, was on the cusp of overtaking, I believe, what was it, Michael Johnson, who was sitting in 3rd place there. Which he did overtake him, but was not able to get into 3rd. And a couple more points to be had down the stack, but not that much change out there. Andy Cantu and Brian DeVries taking good points hauls this evening with their limited race participation. They're going to rocket right up the standings. As always, hit the thumbs down button. Never subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell, and even number of times we will be here on Thursdays for the GT1s and GT3s. Please join us then. We will see you then, everybody. Take it easy.